Hello and welcome to another video. So today we kind of have something a little different. If some of you may remember, but before the Premier League season started, I, like many other YouTubers, published my Premier League predictions for that season. And now, also like many other YouTubers, I'm going to be reacting to those predictions I just made. You might have seen this on other channels. It's actually quite a popular video to make. I just figured I would do my own when the time's right, because I mean, it's a little late. I mean, halfway through the season officially is match week 19, and I think right now it's like match week 21 or 22nd, or the 22nd one, but it's close enough, I figured. And also, just kind of like a disclaimer, all the stats in this video are as of the date recording this video, which is January 4th, 2020. So we're just gonna get right into the video. So first one up, AFC Bournemouth. I predicted them to be in 12th, and right now they're in 18th, so it's kind of a big gap. It's kind of like I predicted them to be mid-table, but they're actually relegation zone. I think this is a reasonably big shock, so I don't think I should be too harsh on myself, but I mean, Nathan Ake just got injured, so that's going to be a big blow, and their squad depth isn't the greatest. I think they should get out of this position. I don't know if 12th is realistic at this point, maybe like around the 15th zone, but again, if I learn one thing from this video is who am I to talk, a lot can change too. It's only halfway through the season. I think they should get above relegation zone. Next up we got Arsenal. I predicted them to be in 3rd, and right now they're in 10th. When I was making my predictions, I knew that for Arsenal FC at their current state, 3rd was more than a bit generous. I mean, their defense is still shambolic at times, and currently in 10th, they've just been way too inconsistent. They've been losing to the smaller teams. They've gone through 3 managers already, but I think they still should pull it back. I think they'll definitely make a top 10 finish. If they don't make a top 5, I think they won't be any lower than 6th or 7th, but overall really disappointing season for the Gunners. Next we go to Aston Villa. So I predicted them to be in 14th, and they're currently in 17th. Villa have had an interesting season. They had a reasonably good start first couple games, and then it's kind of just been up and down since. They did spend over £100 million pounds in the summer on summer transfers, over that I think actually, and so me, like many others, expect them to be much better, and they're in 17th. With that being said, 14th and 17th, I mean, they're not really too far away. I think they'll definitely have a top 15 finish, maybe a little higher, and I think Villa have had a pretty solid season. I think their team morale is really good, they create a really good atmosphere, and I think they're playing good football. I just think they need to continue doing that, really. Brighton, predicted 18th, currently 14th. This was a big shock. I thought Brighton were going down immediately, but they've actually been getting some good results. I mean, they beat Spurs 3-0. That was really big. They just drew Chelsea. They got Alireza John Bosch, got an amazing bicycle kick, and they're actually playing really well. So, I mean, I'm not sure if they can maintain this form throughout the entire season, but I wouldn't be drastically surprised if they were to. Burnley, predicted 16th, currently 15th. This is my closest one yet. They have a good squad, pretty balanced in all departments, as long as there's any holes in their team. I think they're doing pretty well. For their standards, I think they're having a good season so far, and I think unless something goes extremely wrong, they're going to continue this way. So when I made this prediction for Chelsea, I kind of figured I was being a bit harsh on them. I mean, pretty good team. They're still Chelsea, so they're going to have high standards. They're always going to have a good squad. When I made the prediction, I just couldn't look past the fact that they sold Hazard and couldn't make any signings. So that kind of put me off, and I just put in, but the transfer ban got lifted. They have like over £300 million to spend. They might sign Jadon Sancho, and they've used youth since like one of the best ways I've seen like a youth squad being used, almost like Alex Ferguson level. And I think Frank Lampard could not be doing a better job. So, I mean, they've kind of been knocking on City kind of all season. Like, pretty much all season for Liverpool, Leicester City. And, like, that's also switched a lot, of course. But I think they're kind of like always there, kind of knocking on third place. And yeah, I could definitely see them playing in Europe next season as well. And they're probably going to make a lot of good signings with their increased transfer budget. Palace predicted 10th, currently 9th. Not much to say for this. Pretty close. They've had a couple disappointing results, but they've also put up some good upsets, like they beat United earlier in the season, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, they just have a good squad, good players, doing well. All I can say, really. Everton predicted 7th, currently 11th. A lot of talking points to this one. I mean, they did a lot of good rebuilding. They got Moise Keane, I mean, likes of Alex Iwobi, there to Richarlison. The Andre Gomez injury, of course, that was unfortunate. And, I mean, they were in relegation zone earlier, and it's kind of been just up and down from then. So I don't think they're having a great season, and I don't think they're really going to do any better, honestly. Leicester predicted 9th, currently 2nd. I was too harsh on them, I'll admit that. I kind of figured that when I was making these predictions. Well, when I did my predictions, I do like zones at times. So, okay, who's going to do relegation zone? Who's going to do top 15? Who's going to be mid-table? Who's going to be like Europa League? Who's going to be Champions League? And I kind of thought it was either going to be them or Everton that could be knocking on the Big Six all season, or maybe even like break the Big Six mold, as some people say, which is just Big Six teams coming in top 6 all the time, which has been broken this season so far. It's only halfway through, but Leicester, a couple weeks ago I wouldn't have said this, but I feel like it's almost a matter of time until kind of they're back to how they were earlier last season. Don't get me wrong, I think Vardy's doing very well. Brendan Rodgers is doing great. I like him as a manager, former Liverpool manager. I just think that City, their injury crisis, not sure all the players exactly, but I don't think it's going to last for that much longer. Might be mistaken though. And I feel like, I mean, Leicester got better in the festive fixtures. They had to play City and Liverpool. It's just not going too well for them, but with what they put in the beginning of the season, they could maybe pull something back. I don't know. I would not be surprised if they play in Europe next season. Liverpool predicted 1st, currently 1st. So I figured this. I figured they would be in 1st, if not 2nd, but I thought it was going to be another close title race. But like they were kind of at this state around this time last year, so things kind of fell apart for them. But the thing is, like, it was different last year. I mean, Liverpool kind of drew a lot, and that's why they fell apart. But City are in a massive injury crisis. They're not getting good results. It's just not really going well for them, and Liverpool are drastically ahead. City aren't even the 2nd place team. But as I said, as I just said, that could change. I think it's subject to change. But I think, as a Liverpool fan, I'm very happy with this team. I think we could not be playing better. And I think we're on track to have possibly the best season of our club's history. Maybe. City predicted 2nd, currently 3rd. Like I said, this is subject to change in the coming weeks, months. I think their injury crisis was unfortunate, but the thing is, they do have other options. Like, they have Otamendi, they have Joe Cancelo. They just have other options and stuff, so I feel like they could be doing better, and and I don't know if their injury crisis will end their results, because they've been known to be a little inconsistent throughout the years. So I don't really see them coming back in this title race, honestly. Pretty disappointing season for them. I think Xavi, the former Spain international, said that they should just focus on Champions League, and I think that's a good plan for Pep's men from now on. And yeah, just disappointing for them. United predicted 5th, currently 5th. So besides Liverpool, I think this is the only one we've gotten right. I mean, United, I think for their standards, they've actually been doing pretty well. I mean, they're rotating the youth, and Rashford's still young, Daniel James. Their defense still isn't that great. I mean, Maguire didn't bring that much to the team. Wan-Bissaka's doing reasonably well. I think I kind of expect him to do a little better though. He's still doing well though. And I know they're just not typical how United were a couple of years ago. They're not considered the same. So I think they're still kind of having a disappointing season. But I think they should still play in Europe. And as a Liverpool fan, I personally just love all this happening to them. And like what I mean by that is they're not getting good results, which I find hilarious. But yeah, I think Solskjaer is a good manager. I think he's doing a pretty good job, and also the United board just honestly have to give him a little more time, and I think they'll get back to the right track before the likes of like Arsenal, who are also dominant just like 5-10 years ago. Newcastle predicted 15th, currently 13th. I mean, I think people were too harsh on Steve Bruce. They weren't expecting him to do well at all. I think he brought in St. Maximin, he brought in Joelinton. They've been doing pretty well, getting good results. I mean, they gave Liverpool a hard time. They gave City a hard time. They drew him actually. John Joe Shelby really clutching up to cancel De Bruyne's amazing goal in that game. But yeah, I think they're doing well, and I think they'll kind of stay this way. But I think they could even go beyond top 15, and even maybe go to mid-table maybe. Norwich predicted 19th, currently 20th. Norwich had a barnstorming start to the season. Pookie was on fire. They beat Newcastle 3-1. They beat Man City, of course, and they were just a really exciting team to watch. I think Aston Villa, newly promoted teams, they've done a good job creating a good environment to play in. The players really enjoy it, and they're honestly a really fun team to watch. They're playing good football, so I think if they get out of relegation zone, I really don't want to see them go down. I really are enjoying them in the Premier League, but I think I won't be surprised if they get out of relegation zone. Probably one of the biggest talking points of the video, Sheffield United, shocking everyone. I was expecting them to come in dead last. They're in 8th place just a couple of weeks ago. They were in a European spot, and honestly, these players they didn't make a ton of signings. I said that in my prediction video. These players, I haven't really heard of them. No, I don't think a lot of people have, but they're just doing really well at the minute, and in the game against Liverpool, they showed the passing stats and they had drastically more passes, but I think people don't it's almost like when there's a worse team in the division, you expect an easy win, you play them, but I think people aren't really expecting that from Sheffield at the minute. They're definitely putting up a good fight. Really exciting team to watch of the newly promoted teams. All the newly promoted teams really are exciting to watch, so yeah, it's been a good year. Sheffield United have taken part in that. Southampton predicted 17th, currently 12th. Southampton are tough because they brought in Che Adams, they brought in Danny Ings, they have a good midfield, James Ward-Prowse, but it's almost they have too many options in the stronger departments, and they brought in Vestergaard, but the defense isn't that great beside that. I know they're in 12th place and that's really good, but I think we just kind of caught them at a good place, which by that I mean they're not really going to stay here for that long, and they happen to be here in the middle of the season. But a decrease for the Saints, I think, is definitely on the cards. Spurs predicted 4th, currently 6th. I knew they would disappoint, they always do, and I'm not trying, I'm actually being serious by that. And I mean, Son's been doing well, Kane kind of in and out, Dele Alli, since Mourinho coming in, they've been doing really well. And when Pochettino got sacked, I was really shocked, and they brought Mourinho in. I didn't think that was a good decision for them in the long run. But Mourinho again had a managerial honeymoon period, but then he lost to United, and the results have just been a bit Spursy recently, so I think they'll still kind of disappoint. In my 4th, I think they could keep this up for the rest of the season. I don't think they're going to go as low as 6, but honestly, I wouldn't be too surprised. Next up, we got Watford, predicted 13th, currently 19th. They were a good team last year. They had Gerard Deulofeu, Troy Deeney leading the attack. They had Decore in the midfield. They even brought in Danny Welbeck. We hadn't seen much of him. They had a pretty good midfield. They brought in Dawson. They had Kiko Firmino. Sorry, defense. And they went through, I think, 3 or 4 managers. So I don't think the board's doing that well. I think they kind of need to give managers more time to kind of work with them. If they get relegated at this point, I won't be too surprised, but I don't know. I don't really think they deserve it. I mean, if you come in the bottom 3, you might think, of course, you deserve to be relegated, but I don't know. I just think they've had a really disappointing season overall, and I think my prediction at the time made it wasn't too unreasonable, but if I could change that, I definitely would. West Ham predicted 11th, currently 16th. I mean, a bit disappointing. I mean, West Ham have kind of done this. I'm kind of disappointed. But I think they still have a good team. I mean, think about it. I mean, Chicharito left them. But they still have Declan Rice. They still have Felipe Anderson, Mark Noble. Even their goalkeeper is good, Lucas Fabianski. I mean, they are a good team. I'll definitely see them placing a bit higher than they are right now. Wolves rated 8th, currently 7th, very close. And they haven't had a great start to the season. In between the start to the season now, they were doing pretty well, and they're doing pretty well again, which I'm happy to see because I love their manager, Espirito Santos. I think he's doing really well. I think he's like the Jurgen Klopp in the mid-table. And I just really love watching them play. They have a really good squad, so I could definitely see them doing what they did last season again. And that was the main reason why I put them so low, because I couldn't really see if they could do that again. But I think they will. So yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. I think there were a good amount of surprises, but also some things went according to the plan. And tell me if you want more of these videos, kind of just like talking about football in general, because I'm still kind of experimenting with everything. So yeah, see you guys next time.